everybody, and welcome to the Crucible review of Outbreak Prime, the brand new exotic pulse rifle that you get for completing a quest within the raid. Now, this is not going to be a guide on how to get the weapon. If you do want to know that, I will leave a link in the description to Holtzman's video on how to get this weapon. His guide is awesome. It's the one that I followed to get my weapon, so if you do want to follow that, it will be in the description. Now, taking a look at the perks on Outbreak Prime, we have Outlaw, we have Lightweight, Hand-Loaded, and Fitted Stock, and then the perk on the end is Virulence, where when you get a precision headshot and kill a target, it will spit out nanomites to go and kill everybody else around them. There's also an exotic perk where when a target is taking prolonged damage, nanomites will come and kill other people as well. Now, as you can see here, I am comparing it to my Hawksaw because the stats are pretty much the same. They are very similar weapons, but I will be speaking a little bit more about the Hawksaw comparison later on in the video. So I really wanted to take my time with this weapon. I don't like jumping into a match, having like two really awesome games and be like, this weapon's the best. Or the opposite way around where I jump into two games, I get slaughtered by shotguns and I'm like, this gun can't compete in the meta. I like to give myself a good amount of time on various different classes, various different maps, game modes, and really see how the weapon can perform across all of those things. And the Outbreak Prime, which is a very weird name, it's weird. It sounds like I'm describing a robot, which I guess it kind of is like a robot. But Outbreak Prime is definitely not a bad pulse rifle. The Hawksaw archetype is one of the best archetypes for pulse rifles in the game. It's my personal favorite. Like, Hawksaw is my baby. If you guys know me, I'm a big pulse rifle fan, and Hawksaw is probably my #1 favorite thing in the world. Well, maybe not thing, but weapon in the world. I love Hawksaw. So this weapon definitely feels very good. It's very stable. There's hardly any recoil. Even though the stability on the actual stats looks like it's really low, it's actually not as low as you think it is. It actually performs very well when it comes to stability. So all in all, the fact that it is of the Hawksaw archetype makes it a viable weapon in the Crucible, because that archetype is a viable archetype in the Crucible. Now let's talk about the perks that actually make this weapon exotic, because if you're going to be using an exotic, you want to make sure that the perks you can actually take advantage of. So we have the first one, which is when a target takes prolonged damage, it starts to make a swarm of nanomites. It's very rare that you're going to have this proc in PvP because it has to be quite consistent damage. So if someone's in their super, you can put the nanomites on them, so that's kind of good, especially if it's something like a Blade Dancer or a Hammer Titan, because it will stop them from regenning their shield back again if they happen to get a kill. So that's the only time that that perk is going to come in handy, is if you are against someone with a super and you manage to get a bunch of shots on them. So all in all, not very frequently is that going to be particularly helpful for you. Now, the other perk that we have that's on this weapon that's not on any other weapons is Virulence or Virulence. I don't know if I'm saying it like Virulence sounds better to me, but Virulence is maybe correct. I don't know. Don't yell at me. It's mean. But this perk is where when you get a headshot precision kill, it is going to send out nanomites to go and attack people who are nearby. Now, this damage, it depends on the armor that someone's running. From what I have seen from testing it and just from seeing it in the Crucible for playing with it for hours, when you kill someone and the nanomites go to someone who is at full health and full shield, it will take off between half of their shield or 3/4 of their shield. Is that useful? It has its situations where it can be. Usually in Control, if you manage to get the headshot kill on someone and it can go to someone else and then you can kill them with a grenade. But in general, it's a very specific situation that you have to be in to take advantage of Virulence. I'm sticking with Virulence. I'm sticking with Virulence. It sounds better. But it has to be a very specific situation to take advantage of it. Now, I know people have been able to be in situations where they can take advantage of it, but I personally don't believe that that is enough of an exotic perk to make me choose Outbreak Prime over other primaries. And this is where we really jump into how good actually is this weapon. Yes, it is a solid weapon in the Crucible. I think that's kind of easy to see. If you do not have a god roll hawksaw or a really good grasp, then maybe you do want to use this exotic as your primary in the Crucible. But comparing to Grasp of Malik and comparing to especially the hawksaw, because they are of the same archetype, I don't personally believe that it is worth the exotic slot. Now, this is why. The reason is because I personally have a perfect balance, counterbalance, rifled barrel hawksaw. It is kind of the ultimate roll. I wouldn't want anything else. It has no recoil. There's nothing there. It doesn't exist. There's no recoil at all. Also, it has crazy range because of rifle barrel. So when I am comparing Outbreak Prime to my specific hawksaw, my hawksaw just outperforms. When it comes to just a basic stats, basic gun-on-gun fights, my hawksaw outperforms Outbreak Prime by quite a noticeable amount. I feel a lot more confident with hawksaw. I'm able to take people down more quickly. It feels more stable. It feels like I have more control over it. And generally, everything about it feels a whole lot better. So the only reason that I would use Outbreak Prime over the hawksaw is because those nanomites were proving to be very useful in the Crucible. And as of my few hours, quite a lot of hours playing with Outbreak Prime in the Crucible, I have yet to really see those nanomite swarms be particularly useful to the point where I'm like, I want to use this over Palindrome. I want to use it over hawksaw. Last word. I've been really enjoying using Plan C as my special recently because of all of these shotguns. So I found that Plan C has been absolutely amazing in dealing with those crazy shotgun ape running people. So in my opinion, it is a solid weapon in the Crucible. It can definitely perform well in the Crucible. You can do well. If you are good with weapons, you can do good with Outbreak Prime. It is a competitive weapon. But I do not personally believe that it is deserving of an exotic slot over other weapons, or even deserving of a primary slot over a really good hawksaw or a really good grasp. Not even to mention the Aes Lunas and the Palindromes of this world. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I have enjoyed using it. It's really pretty. It makes cool sounds, but I feel that my hawksaw performs a lot better. My Palindrome definitely performs a lot better. And in general, I wouldn't take it into a super competitive environment. I wouldn't want to use it in trials because I'd probably choke and lose for my team, although I do that sometimes anyway. But I need all the help that I can get, and I don't believe that Outbreak Prime can give me all of the help that I can get. So that is going to do it for the Crucible review of Outbreak Prime. Let me know in the comments section, what do you think about this weapon in the Crucible? Have you pulled off any crazy stuff with the nanomites? If you have, I'd also love to see a video. If that's a thing, I'd like to see a video of it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave it a like, and I'll speak to you awesome people later. Bye.